Today we're going to be looking at making multiple comparisons using Chapter 9 methods of a t-test. But what we're talking about is that if I have, let's say, 3 groups I want to look at. So we'll call those groups A, B, and C. So these 3 groups could be 3 different majors. They could be teens, kids under 10, and, adults. Whatever 3 groups I'm looking at. But if I'm going to be using Chapter 9 methods, I'm going to look at pairs. I'm going to compare in pairs. So I need to ask the question, how many pairs am I going to have? So if I have 3 groups, we want to know how many pairs I would end up with. Well, I would need to compare A with B. I'd need to compare A with C. And the only other group I really need to talk about is B and C. Now, some students may say, well, what about C and A? Well, comparing A to C and C to A are the exact same thing. Okay. Turns out that there is a theorem, and what that theorem says is that if you have n groups, then you will have n times n minus 1 divided by 2 pairs. So what that's saying is that if you have 3 groups, 3 times 3 minus 1 is 2, divided by 2, is the same thing as 6 divided by 2, or 3 pairs. Okay, that may seem like a really weird thing to talk about, but the thing is that what if you had 4 groups? What if you had 5 groups? What if you had 6 groups? You want to know how many pairs you would need, so that way I made sure I had them all covered. So for example, if we had 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. So let's say I had 4 groups. Okay, according to our theorem, it's 4 times 3 divided by 2 pairs. So I should expect 4 times 3 divided by 2, which is 12 divided by 2, which is 6 pairs. Okay, well, let's go ahead and try and list all the pairs. So we've got A and B. I've got A and C. I've got A and D. So there's 3 pairs. All right, A has been paired with everybody. Has B been paired with everybody? No, I need B and C. Oh, and I also need B and D. All right, so has B been paired with everybody? Yeah. How about C? Well, I have A and C, and I have B and C, but I don't have C and D. Now we have all 6 of our pairs. Okay. What you want to be careful about, and why we're talking about all of this, is that although the methods of Chapter 9 are pretty cool, they are limiting because we're going to have to find a ridiculous number of pairs to compare. There's got to be an easier way, and that is what sections 11.2 and 11.3 are about.